Hey there everybody. So in these different videos I want to go over some best practices to make your content run more reliably overall on any device, but especially on weaker devices like Pis and Fire Sticks and Android smart TVs. In this example, like most cases, I have a bunch of content, we can see it here, that's already running on my displays, but I'm seeing some issues where my displays aren't running as smoothly as they could, so let's dig into reasons as to why that could occur. Now, let's say some images run great and others not so great. They take a while to come up on the screen, or sometimes they get skipped entirely before going to the next presentation or content item in your playlist. This is likely due to size and possibly the type of the image file. So let's go over to my storage library, and I'm just going to go into this folder here, and let's take a look at all these specific files that are in here. So you can check out my other video that goes over scaling down an image size, but one other thing to consider, especially for weaker machines, is the type of images that you're using. For example, the PNG image format that the majority of my images here are set up in, the PNG image format can be a lot more resource intensive than the JPEG format. Now there's lots of info on the web on the differences between these two types of formats, but boiled down, PNGs are for like web page graphics, print designs, illustrations that you want to look good at any resolution you set them to, while JPEGs are better for photography and set resolution images. Since your media players are running at an unchanging set resolution, a JPEG kind of works perfectly in this case. So how do we change our PNGs over to JPEGs? So if you notice PNGs aren't running great, let's say this one right here is not running very well. Let's just check it in our library, go to the actions and choose to download. So we're just going to download it to our computer. We'll open it up in our downloads window here. And now we're going to just double click on it to open it in preview. Well, let's bring this preview over here. There we go. Now, what we do is from the top of the window, which is just out of frame here, we're going to go to File, and then this will be similar on Windows. With Windows, I believe it's Convert, but on my Mac here, I'm just going to go to File, and then Export. And I've got different formats to export to, but I'm going to choose a JPEG. I'm going to have the quality, not at the very, very top, but just the best. This is kind of the default settings. And I'm just going to name it something different too. I'm going to call it Export as Rob the Bulldog. Who knows why it was given that name in the first place. I'm going to take all this off at the end. So it's just called Rob the Bulldog. Oops, JPEG. Oops. There we are. And then hit Save. Once that's done, that's all we need to do. I can quit preview, and now I've got my JPEG and my PNG. Now when we look at the two, side by side, I'll drag this to right here. And drag this to right here. Notice when we look at two of them side by side, pretty impossible to notice a difference, especially if it's going to be running on a screen that people aren't going to be right in front of. But they're pretty identical, so we can upload the JPEG, and we can use JPEGs instead of PNGs moving forward, which I think will help out a lot with the playback of these types of files on your weaker machines.